Welcome to Child Support Simplified, the series designed to help you, the pro se litigant, navigate child support court with confidence. If you're representing yourself, you've probably already realized the legal system has its own language, and that can feel overwhelming. Today, we're going to break down some of the most common terms and legal jargon you'll hear in child support court. By the end of this video, you'll understand what these words actually mean, in plain English, so you can walk into court prepared. Let's discuss why this matters. When you walk into child support court, judges, attorneys, and clerks often use terms that sound complicated, but each word has a very specific meaning. If you misunderstand those words, you might agree to something you don't fully grasp, miss an important deadline, or even lose credibility with the court. So, think of this as learning the language of the courtroom. Once you speak it, you'll be less intimidated and more confident. Let's learn some legalese. Pro se litigant, this is you. A pro se litigant represents themselves in court without an attorney. Courts recognize your right to do this, but it means you're held to many of the same standards as a lawyer. Custodial parent or CP. The custodial parent is the parent the child lives with most of the time. This parent often receives child support payments. Non-custodial parent or NCP. The non-custodial parent is the parent who does not have primary custody. This parent is usually the one ordered to pay child support. Obligor and obligé. These are just fancy words for payer and receiver. The obligor is the parent ordered to pay support, and the obligé is the parent who receives it. Income withholding order. This is when the court orders child support to be taken directly from the paying parent's paycheck. It goes through their employer before reaching the other parent. Arrears and arrearages. This means past due child support. If payments weren't made on time, the unpaid amount is called arrears. Courts take arrears very seriously. Interest can build up, and enforcement actions can follow. Modified child support order. A modification is a request to change the existing child support order. For example, if one parent loses a job or the child's needs change, either parent can ask the court to adjust the amount. Contempt of court. If a parent doesn't follow the court's order, like refusing to pay child support, the court may hold them in contempt. That can mean fines, wage garnishment, or even jail time in extreme cases. Child support guidelines. Every state has a formula called the Child Support Guidelines that calculates how much support should be paid. It's usually based on income, custody time, and sometimes healthcare or daycare costs. Now you might be thinking, that's a lot of terms to memorize. But here's the trick: focus on the big picture. Custodial versus non-custodial tells you who the child primarily lives with. Obligor versus obligé tells you who pays and who receives. Arrears means past due payments. Modification means changes. Contempt means consequences. When you understand these words, you're no longer lost in translation. You can focus on telling your story and presenting your facts clearly. Let's say John is the non-custodial parent and Jane is the custodial parent. The court orders John, the obliger, to pay child support through an income withholding order. Later, John loses his job and falls behind. Those missed payments are arrears. John can file a request for a modification, but if he doesn't pay at all, he risks being held in contempt. See how all those terms fit together in a real-life scenario? Congratulations! You've just learned the foundation of child support court language. In our next episode, we'll dive into how child support is calculated, so you can understand the numbers behind the order. If you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next video in this series. And remember, representing yourself doesn't mean being alone, it means being prepared.